Nara stood at the edge of the busy street, her help wanted sign clutched tightly in her hands. The sign was small, made from thin metal, but the words were clear. She held it high, hoping someone would see her and offer a job. Her blue skin reflected the neon lights from the signs above, casting a soft glow on her tired face. Her long hair fell in waves, shimmering like liquid silver in the light, and her eyes, a bright amber, scanned every passerby. She had been here for hours, standing in the same spot, her legs aching, her stomach empty. The city around her was alive with noise. Hovering vehicles zipped above the streets, their engines humming in a low tone. People moved quickly, talking, laughing, or hurrying to their destinations. Alien species of every shape and size filled the sidewalks. Some had wings, some had multiple arms, some had strange patterns of light running across their skin. Nara's species was uncommon here, and she knew that made her stand out. She hoped that standing out would work in her favor. She held her sign higher, trying to catch someone's attention. A small group of aliens passed by, but they only glanced at her and walked away. Nara's heart sank slightly, but she reminded herself to stay calm. She had to be patient. Survival in this city required patience and resilience. She adjusted her posture and looked around, her amber eyes searching for someone who might help. After what felt like another long hour, she saw a human walking toward her. Humans were rare in this part of the city, and when one appeared, it immediately drew attention. This human was tall and lean, with short dark hair that fell slightly over his forehead. He moved with purpose, carrying a small bag over his shoulder. Unlike most of the people around him, he seemed calm and not in a rush to get anywhere. Nara watched him carefully, wondering if he would ignore her like everyone else. The human's eyes met hers for a moment, and she noticed a flicker of curiosity in them. He slowed down as he approached, and Nara felt a cautious hope rise in her chest. "Hello," the human said, his voice steady and kind. "Are you looking for work?" Nara hesitated for a moment. It was hard for her to trust anyone. She had traveled far from her home planet, seeking opportunities, but had been met with suspicion and indifference. Still, something about this human felt different. There was no rush in his steps, no impatience in his voice. She nodded. "Yes," she said softly. "I need work to survive. I can do many things. I am strong and I learn quickly." The human smiled slightly. "I am Kian," he said. "I do engineering work. It is not much, but I might be able to help you for a start."
"Do you want to come with me?"
Nara's heart skipped a beat. She had not expected someone to offer help so quickly. She had grown used to rejection, to the cold indifference of the city. But now here was a human offering her assistance. She nodded, trying to control the hope that rose inside her. "Thank you," she said. "I will come." Kian gestured for her to follow, and they walked side by side through the busy streets. Nara kept her eyes open, observing the city from this new perspective. She saw shops she had never noticed, smells from street vendors and the glowing signs that decorated the buildings. She felt both excitement and nervousness. She was leaving her sign behind, leaving the street that had been her home for hours, and stepping into a new place where she knew nothing about what awaited her. When they reached Kian's small apartment, he unlocked the door and stepped inside first, gesturing for Nara to follow. The apartment was modest but clean, with a few tools and devices scattered across tables. The walls were lined with shelves holding parts and small machines in progress. The space smelled faintly of oil and metal, a scent that somehow felt comforting. "Sit," Kian said, pointing to a small chair near the table. He moved to the kitchen area and brought back a plate of food. "You must be hungry," he said. "It is not much, but it will help you regain your strength." Nara's stomach growled, and she felt tears rise in her eyes. She had not eaten properly for more than a day, and the gesture of kindness overwhelmed her. She sat down carefully and took the plate, eating slowly. Kian watched her quietly, understanding that she needed time to settle. Once she had finished, Kian asked gently, "Where are you from, Nara?" "I am from Eris," she replied, the name of her home planet sounding foreign in the room. "I traveled far. I came here to find work, but it is difficult. People are not kind to strangers." Kian nodded thoughtfully. "Humans can be like that sometimes. But I believe anyone who works hard and helps others can find a place. You have skills, and I would like to see what you can do. If you want, you can come to my workshop tomorrow and help me with some small projects. It is not much, but it is a start." Nara felt a sense of relief wash over her. She had feared that even here, she would be treated as an outsider, ignored or looked down upon. But Kian treated her with respect. He spoke as if her skills mattered, as if she mattered. "I would like that," she said softly. "Thank you for giving me a chance." The rest of the evening passed quietly. They spoke of simple things, sharing stories about their lives. Nara described her home planet, with its tall crystal towers, glowing rivers, and peaceful cities. Kian spoke of human inventions, the machines he had built, and the curiosity that drove humans to explore and create. As the night grew late, Nara realized how tired she was. Standing on the street with her sign, searching for help, had taken more energy than she realized.
Kian offered her a small room with a clean bed.
It was not luxurious, but it was safe and warm. For the first time in days, Nara felt a sense of security. Before she fell asleep, she looked around the room, noticing the simple tools and inventions Kian had built. She imagined herself learning, helping, and maybe even creating things of her own. Hope had started to take root in her heart, a feeling she had not experienced in a long time. Outside, the city continued to hum with life, lights flickering, vehicles passing, people hurrying along. But inside this small apartment, there was a quiet moment of peace. A human had stopped, had noticed her struggle, and had offered a hand. Nara closed her eyes, feeling gratitude and determination. Tomorrow she would take her first step toward a new life. She slept that night with her sign left behind, the memory of the street fading. In its place, she carried a sense of possibility. She realized that even in a city where strangers ignored her, one human's choice had made a difference, and that thought stayed with her as she drifted into a peaceful sleep, ready to face the challenges of the coming day. The first light of morning streamed through the window. Nara awoke feeling lighter than she had in days. She stretched her arms and noticed Kian already at work, tinkering with a small device on his table. He looked up and smiled at her. "Good morning, Nara," he said. "Are you ready to start?" Nara nodded, a small smile on her face. "Yes, I am ready." That morning marked the beginning of a partnership that neither of them could yet imagine. A human and an alien, brought together by a simple act of kindness, were about to change each other's lives and, perhaps, the world around them. Nara took a deep breath, feeling the energy of a new day and the promise it held. For the first time, she believed that she could survive and thrive in this city. The street of signs and rejection was behind her, and the workshop of possibilities lay ahead. She stepped toward Kian's workbench, ready to learn, to work, and to prove that even one alien, with the help of one human, could make a difference. And in that moment, she realized that sometimes the smallest act of kindness could change everything. The morning sunlight streamed through the small windows of Kian's apartment, painting the workshop in a warm golden hue. Nara stood at the doorway, looking at the tools and devices scattered across the tables. She felt nervous and excited at the same time. This was a new world for her, one that was very different from the quiet life she had known on her home planet. But she also felt hope, the same hope that had started to grow inside her the previous evening. Kian looked up from a small metal device he was working on and smiled at her. "Good morning, Nara," he said. "I hope you are ready to learn today. There are small projects that need finishing, and I think you can help." Nara nodded and stepped forward. Her long fingers brushed the edges of the tools, curious but careful. She had used tools before on her planet, but human machines were different. The shapes, the designs, even the sounds were unfamiliar. She took a deep breath, reminding herself that she could adapt. Humans had a strange way of working, but she had learned from her travels that she could understand almost anything if she focused. Kian handed her a small metal rod and explained its purpose. "This is part of a structural frame," he said. "It needs to be connected here and here carefully so it holds strong. Try to fit it in place." Nara tilted her head, studying the rod and the frame. She tried to insert it in the way Kian had shown her, but it did not fit. She tried again, adjusting the angle, pressing lightly. Finally, with a small click, it slid perfectly into place. She smiled, proud of her success. "Very good," Kian said. "You learn quickly." Nara felt a warmth in her chest. Humans had praised her before, but rarely had anyone taken the time to show her exactly how to do something. This felt different. She wanted to learn, and Kian seemed genuinely interested in teaching her. For the next few hours, they worked side by side. Kian explained the parts of his devices, how each piece worked, and why it mattered. Nara listened carefully, absorbing every detail. She asked questions when she did not understand something, and Kian answered patiently, showing her step by step. As the morning passed into afternoon, Nara realized she was not just following instructions anymore. She began to suggest small changes, ways to make the device stronger or more efficient. Kian watched her ideas with interest. He had not expected an alien, unfamiliar with human technology, to notice details he sometimes overlooked. "You have a good eye," he said, smiling. "I think together we can create something better than I could do alone." Nara felt a sense of pride she had not experienced in a long time. On her home planet, she had worked with others of her species, but the projects were simple and limited. Here with Kian, she could see possibilities she had never imagined. During a short break, they sat on the edge of the workbench and shared a simple meal. Nara looked out the window at the city below. From up here, the streets seemed to move like a river of light and color. She thought about the hours she had spent yesterday holding her help wanted sign. The memory made her shiver slightly. She had been so alone, so ignored, but now everything felt different. "Thank you for helping me," she said quietly. Kian shook his head. "No need to thank me. It is my choice. Humans sometimes help because it is the right thing to do. Besides, I like working with you. You think differently, and that is important." Nara nodded. She liked that he said she thought differently. She had always felt that humans and aliens were too separate, that they could not understand each other. But Kian had shown her that understanding was possible. After the break, they returned to work. Kian asked Nara to assemble a small energy module, explaining how it would power one of his inventions. The module was delicate, with small wires and connectors that required precision. Nara's hands trembled slightly as she started, but she focused carefully, remembering every instruction. When the module was complete, Kian tested it. A soft hum filled the room as the device powered up perfectly. Nara's eyes lit up and she allowed herself a small smile. "You did it," Kian said, genuinely impressed. "You have a talent for this." Nara felt a warmth of pride. She had not thought she could do something so complicated with human tools, yet she had succeeded. She realized that humans had a unique way of solving problems, and by combining her own skills with theirs, she could achieve more than she had ever imagined. As the afternoon continued, Kian suggested they take a walk outside. Nara agreed. The city was still busy, but this time she noticed details she had missed before. Small gardens on building rooftops, children playing with simple toys, and the way people helped each other across the streets. Humans had flaws, she realized, but they also had kindness and ingenuity. During the walk, they passed by a busy market. Nara noticed some aliens who were wary of humans, watching them closely. She understood their caution. She herself had felt that way in new places, but she also felt confident, knowing she had Kian by her side, someone who believed in her. At a quiet corner of the market, Kian stopped and looked at Nara. "I know it is difficult to trust at first," he said, "but humans can be good partners. If you want, I can teach you more about engineering, machines, and how to work with humans. I believe you can do great things here." Nara's amber eyes widened slightly. "You would teach me, even though I am not human?" Kian smiled. "Yes, intelligence and curiosity are not limited by species. I want to share what I know, and I want to learn from you too. We can help each other." Nara felt her chest swell with gratitude. She had traveled far and faced many challenges alone, and now she was being offered a chance to learn, grow, and belong. For the first time, she felt that her journey had led her to a place where she could thrive. The evening came and they returned to the workshop. Nara worked late, practicing what she had learned, assembling small devices and testing her own ideas. Kian watched her quietly, proud of her determination and creativity. He realized that humans were not the only problem solvers in the city. With Nara's unique perspective, they could accomplish much more. As the night deepened, they sat together on the workbench, looking at the devices they had completed. Nara felt a sense of accomplishment. She had started the day nervous and unsure, and now she was confident in her abilities. "You did very well today," Kian said. "I am glad you are here. Together we can make things that help others and show that humans and aliens can work together." Nara nodded. "I want to learn more," she said. "I want to be useful. I want to help and create," Kian smiled. "Then tomorrow we continue. You are learning quickly, and I am excited to see what we can do next." Nara felt a sense of belonging she had not known in a long time. The streets where she had been ignored, The hours spent holding her sign and the loneliness of her journey seemed far away. Now she had a partner, someone who believed in her and a place where her skills mattered. That night she slept with a sense of purpose. She knew the road ahead would have challenges, but she also knew she was no longer alone. The city, with all its noise and lights, no longer felt overwhelming. It felt like a place of opportunity, a place where a human and an alien could build something new together. When morning came, Nara woke eager to begin again. Kian was already working on a new device and she felt a thrill of anticipation. Today she would learn more, create more, and continue proving that humans and aliens could form a partnership built on trust, respect, and shared goals. Nara took a deep breath, stepping toward the workbench ready for the new day. The workshop had become her place of growth, a place of hope, and a symbol of what could happen when someone chooses to help another. She realized that this simple act of kindness, of offering her a chance, was transforming her life. And as she began her work, she understood that learning, creating, and working together were not just about machines and devices. They were about trust, respect, and the power of humans and aliens standing together to make a better world. The city outside continued its endless rhythm, but inside the small workshop a new story was being written, a story of hope, cooperation, and the beginning of something extraordinary. Nara and Kian were just at the start, but already they were showing that a human and an alien could achieve far more together than alone. Nara smiled, her amber eyes shining with determination. She had left the street of signs behind and found a place where she could grow, learn, and belong. And in that moment she knew that the future, uncertain and bright, awaited her. The workshop buzzed with quiet energy as Nara entered, carrying a small notebook where she had sketched ideas from the previous days. She placed it carefully on the workbench beside Kian, who was already adjusting the parts of a new device. The morning sun spilled through the window, casting warm light on the tools and metal parts scattered across the room. Nara felt a familiar mix of excitement and nervousness, but also a growing confidence. "Good morning, Nara," Kian said, glancing up from his work. "Today I want you to try something new. We are going to build a prototype for a device that can repair small machines automatically." Nara's eyes widened. She had seen similar devices in other workshops, but building one herself was a challenge she had not yet faced. She nodded, determination shining in her amber eyes. "I will try," she said, her voice steady. Kian smiled. "I know you can. Just take it step by step and I will help if you need guidance." He handed her a small, intricate piece of machinery. Its surface was smooth, with tiny connectors and wires that seemed almost impossible to handle. Nara studied it carefully, turning it over in her hands. Her alien fingers, long and precise, were well suited to delicate work, but she had to adapt to the way human tools operated. She took a deep breath and began. At first, the piece would not fit. She tried different angles, adjusted the connectors, and tested each movement. Kian watched silently, occasionally giving a small hint or demonstrating a technique. After several attempts, the part clicked perfectly into place. Nara allowed herself a small smile. It was a small victory, but it gave her the confidence to continue. As the day went on, Nara and Kian worked side by side, assembling the prototype. Nara learned to adjust human tools to suit her abilities, discovering ways to improve the efficiency of the device. She suggested changes that Kian had not considered, like repositioning a connector for better energy flow and reinforcing a structure to make it more durable. Kian followed her suggestions carefully, and soon the prototype was complete. Kian activated the device. A soft hum filled the room as small arms extended, repairing a broken toy robot on the workbench. Nara's eyes shone with excitement. "It works!" she exclaimed. "Yes," Kian said, genuinely impressed. "You did this. Your ideas made it better than I imagined. Together we can create things that no one else could." Nara felt a warmth in her chest. She had never experienced this feeling before, the sense of being valued and trusted. On her home planet, her contributions had been overlooked at times. Here she was respected and appreciated. She realized that humans had a unique ability to work together, to combine ideas and skills to achieve something greater than the sum of their parts. During a short break, they sat together with cups of warm tea. Nara looked out the window at the city below. She noticed how the streets moved with rhythm and order, people helping each other in small ways. Children laughed as they played, and vendors called out to passers-by. She realized that even in a city full of strangers, acts of cooperation and kindness were everywhere. "You know," Kian said, breaking the quiet, "humans often work alone, but the best results come when people share ideas and help each other. That is why I enjoy working with you. You think differently, and your perspective makes all the difference." Nara smiled softly. "I am learning a lot, and I want to keep learning. I want to do more than just follow instructions. I want to create." Kian nodded. "And you will. I can already see it. Tomorrow we will start a new project. Something bigger, something that can help people in the city." The next day they began the project, a device designed to help small businesses repair broken machines quickly. Nara suggested using lightweight materials to make it portable. She designed small compartments for tools and modular components that could be replaced easily. Kian followed her lead, amazed at her creativity and ingenuity. As they worked, rumors began to spread through the city. A human and an alien were creating incredible inventions together. Some people were skeptical, thinking it unusual for a human to work closely with an alien. Others were curious, wondering what they could build. But soon those who saw the devices in action were impressed. Small shop owners began to request demonstrations, and word of their partnership spread. Nara noticed the change in how people looked at her. On the streets where she had once been ignored, people now smiled or nodded as she passed. It was a small gesture, but it filled her with pride. She realized that humans and aliens could not only work together, but also change the perceptions of others through their actions. One afternoon, a local shop owner asked Kian and Nara to fix a small generator that powered his bakery. Nara examined the machine and quickly identified the problem. Using a combination of her alien techniques and Kian's human tools, she repaired it in record time. The shop owner was amazed and thanked them both, offering a small gift of bread and pastries. Nara accepted it with a smile, enjoying the taste of fresh bread after days of simple meals. Kian watched her with pride. "You are making a real difference, Nara. People are noticing your work, and more importantly, they are learning that cooperation between humans and aliens is possible." Nara nodded. She felt a growing sense of purpose. She had started this journey worried about survival, about finding food and shelter. Now she was contributing, helping others, and learning in ways she had never imagined. Her confidence grew with each success. As the days passed, their partnership deepened. They created small repair devices, energy modules, and portable tools that made life easier for people in the city. Nara's ideas often surprised Kian, showing him solutions he had not considered. He began to realize that humans' adaptability was enhanced when combined with alien creativity. By the end of the week, their workshop was filled with completed devices ready for delivery. Nara looked around the room, feeling a sense of accomplishment. She had come from a place where she was ignored and overlooked, carrying only a small help wanted sign. Now she had created devices that could help many people and had earned respect from her peers. That evening, as the city lights flickered on, Nara and Kian sat on the edge of the workbench looking at their creations. "I never imagined it could be like this," Nara said softly. "I was so alone yesterday, and now—" She paused, smiling. "Now I feel like I belong somewhere." Kian nodded. "You do belong, and you are teaching me something too. Humans can sometimes forget the value of patience, observation, and careful thinking. You remind me that it is possible to learn from others no matter where they come from." Nara felt a warmth of gratitude. She had not expected to find such a partnership, a friendship, and a mentor in a human. She realized that humans could be kind, clever, and willing to help without expecting anything in return. That combination was rare and powerful. As night fell, Nara prepared to sleep in the small room Kian had offered her. She thought about the day, about the successes and small victories. She felt proud of herself, not just for what she had created, but for how far she had come. She had moved from a street of rejection to a workshop of possibilities. She had discovered that humans, with their determination and curiosity, could be trusted allies. Before closing her eyes, she looked at Kian, who was still working quietly at the workbench. She felt a strong sense of hope. Together, they could accomplish more than either of them could alone. She realized that her journey was only beginning, and that the bond between a human and an alien could lead to extraordinary results. Outside, the city continued its endless rhythm, lights glowing, vehicles humming, and people moving through the streets. But inside the small workshop, a new story was unfolding. A story of trust, cooperation, and the blending of two different worlds. Nara and Kian were building not only devices but also a bridge between species, showing that collaboration and kindness could create a brighter future. Nara closed her eyes, feeling the satisfaction of achievement and the promise of tomorrow. She had started as an alien holding a help wanted sign, searching for work and survival. Now she had found a place where her skills mattered, where she could contribute, and where humans and aliens could work together to make life better. And in that quiet moment, as the night deepened and the city buzzed softly outside, Nara realized that trust and cooperation were more powerful than she had ever imagined. She had built more than machines today. She had built a bond, a partnership, and a foundation for a future full of possibility. Tomorrow would bring new challenges and new inventions, but for tonight, she allowed herself to rest with pride and hope. She had left the street of signs far behind and had stepped into a world where she belonged, where her abilities were valued, and where the humans she had met had shown her that even small acts of kindness could transform a life completely. The city was alive with sound and motion as Nara and Kian walked down the busy streets toward a client's workshop. Their latest invention, a compact repair device, had attracted attention, and today they were delivering one to a local merchant who had requested a demonstration. Nara carried the small device carefully, her amber eyes scanning the street for obstacles. As they turned a corner, a group of aliens blocked their path. Their expressions were stern, their arms crossed, and they looked at Nara with suspicion. One of them, taller than the rest, stepped forward. "Why is a human working with an alien?" he asked, his voice sharp. "Do you think it is proper to share our skills with humans?" Nara's heart sank slightly. She had hoped that her growing acceptance in the city would protect her from prejudice, but it seemed old fears were still present. She glanced at Kian, who met her gaze calmly. His presence gave her courage. Kian stepped forward, his voice steady. "We are not taking anyone's place. We are using our skills to help. Our work benefits the city and the people who live here." The tall alien's eyes narrowed. "Some humans are greedy and careless. They do not respect others. Why should we trust you?" Nara took a deep breath. She remembered the times she had been ignored or treated as an outsider. She felt a surge of determination. "I came here to survive and to work," she said. "I did not expect to face this. But I am not taking anything from anyone. I am using what I know to help, just as Kian is using what he knows." One of the other aliens, smaller and younger, looked uncertain. "But humans cannot understand our ways," she said softly. "They are different." Kian nodded. "Different does not mean bad. Humans can learn, and they can help. I have learned from Nara, and she has learned from me. Together we make things better for everyone." The tall alien's expression softened slightly, but he was still cautious. "We will watch you," he said. "If you prove that your work helps and does not harm, then perhaps trust can grow. But be careful. Many eyes are watching." Nara and Kian nodded. They continued down the street, their steps steady despite the tension. Nara felt a mix of fear and pride. Fear because of the suspicion directed at her, and pride because she and Kian were showing that humans and aliens could work together for the common good. At the merchant's workshop, they were greeted warmly. The owner, an elderly alien with gentle features, smiled when he saw the device. "I have heard of your work," he said. "Show me what it can do." Nara carefully set the device on a broken mechanical counter, explaining its functions. Kian added details about the energy modules and how the repairs were automatic and precise. The device whirred softly, small arms extending to fix the broken parts with skill and care. The merchant watched in amazement. "This is incredible," he said. "It will save me so much time and effort." "How did you think of this?" Nara smiled shyly. "We work together. Kian has human skills, and I have different ways of seeing problems. Together we found a solution." The merchant nodded. "This is the future. You have my support." As they left the workshop, Nara felt a sense of accomplishment. They had proven their skills once again, and their work had begun to change opinions. But the encounter with the suspicious group still weighed on her mind. She knew that prejudice and fear would not disappear immediately, but she was determined to show that humans and aliens could cooperate peacefully. Over the next few days, Nara and Kian faced several challenges. Some clients doubted their abilities, questioning why an alien and a human worked together. Others were curious but cautious, observing their work carefully. Nara learned to be patient, explaining their methods calmly and showing the benefits of their devices through demonstration. Kian, too, learned from these encounters. He realized that humans often assumed that others would understand their intentions without explanation. Nara's careful explanations and her ability to anticipate concerns helped them gain trust. Together, they discovered that communication, respect, and transparency were as important as technical skill. One afternoon, they were called to a large marketplace where a generator had broken down. The generator powered several food stalls, and without it, the merchants could not operate. When Nara and Kian arrived, they saw a crowd gathered, some curious and some skeptical. Nara examined the generator, her eyes scanning every part carefully. She noticed a small misalignment that Kian had not immediately seen. Using a combination of alien precision and human tools, she adjusted the alignment and replaced the worn parts. Kian followed her instructions, providing support and additional tools. The generator roared to life, powering all the stalls. The crowd cheered, and several merchants approached them with gratitude. One of the skeptical aliens stepped forward. "I did not believe you could do it," he admitted. "But you have shown skill and care. Perhaps humans and aliens can work together after all." Nara nodded, feeling the weight of their small victory. It was more than fixing a machine. It was a step toward breaking down fear and prejudice. She realized that every success, every act of competence could change opinions and build trust. That evening, back in the workshop, Nara and Kian reflected on the day. "We did more than repair a generator," Kian said. "We showed people that cooperation is possible, that humans and aliens can combine skills for a common goal." Nara smiled. "It is not easy. Some people will always doubt. But I feel we are making a difference," Kian nodded. "Yes, and your abilities are extraordinary. Humans are good at learning, but your perspective is unique. Together we can create solutions that no one else could imagine." Nara felt a surge of pride. She had once been ignored on the street, holding a simple "help wanted" sign, hoping for someone to notice her struggle. Now she was recognized for her talent, her ideas valued, and her contributions making a real impact. She realized that the human Kian had not only offered her shelter and work, but had also given her a chance to prove herself, to be seen for who she truly was. As the night deepened, the city lights reflected in Nara's amber eyes. She thought about the challenges they had faced and the prejudice they had encountered. She knew that there would always be obstacles, that some would refuse to accept change. But she also knew that persistence, skill, and kindness could slowly change minds. The next week brought new opportunities and challenges. Nara and Kian were asked to design a portable repair kit for a group of traveling merchants. The kit needed to be compact, durable, and easy to use by people of any species. Nara suggested modular components, lightweight materials, and a simple instruction system that could be understood without complex language. Kian followed her lead, impressed by her foresight and creativity. When the prototype was tested, it performed flawlessly. The merchants were thrilled and praised the human-alien team for their ingenuity. Nara felt a sense of fulfillment she had never experienced. She had started her journey searching for survival, and now she was contributing solutions that helped many people. One day, as they walked through the city, Nara noticed a group of young aliens watching them from a distance. Their expressions were curious rather than hostile. Nara smiled and waved. One of them approached cautiously. "I want to learn too," the young alien said. "Can you teach me?" Kian smiled. "Of course. Learning and sharing knowledge is important. Nara has already taught me many things, and now we can teach others together." Nara felt warmth in her chest. She realized that their work was not only about inventions, but also about creating understanding, breaking down barriers, and inspiring others. Each small act of kindness, each demonstration of skill, helped to build a future where humans and aliens could live and work together in harmony. That evening, back in the workshop, Nara and Kian looked at the devices they had created over the week. They were small but powerful tools that improved life for many people. Nara felt a deep sense of pride and hope. She had faced rejection, prejudice, and fear, but she had also experienced trust, collaboration, and recognition. Kian placed a hand on her shoulder. "You have done more than I expected. You are proving that humans and aliens working together can achieve remarkable things. People are beginning to see it too." Nara nodded, her eyes shining. "I feel it. I feel that change is possible. Even if some are doubtful, Our work shows what can be done when we cooperate. As night fell, the city continued its endless rhythm, but inside the small workshop, a story of trust, courage, and collaboration was unfolding. Nara had started as an alien holding a simple sign, seeking help to survive. Now she was a creator, a teacher, and a symbol of possibility. She realized that the challenges they faced, prejudice, fear, and misunderstanding, were not obstacles to stop them. They were opportunities to show the power of skill, kindness, and determination. She knew that as long as she and Kian worked together, they could overcome anything, and slowly, the city would see that humans and aliens could coexist and thrive. And as Nara prepared to rest, she felt a deep sense of gratitude. Kian had trusted her, taught her, and worked with her as an equal. She had learned the value of patience, the importance of persistence, and the strength of cooperation. She knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, but she was ready. Together, they would continue to show the city that the bond between humans and aliens was a source of hope, innovation, and progress. The morning sunlight filtered through the windows of Kian's workshop, illuminating the room filled with devices, tools, and small machines they had built over the past weeks. Nara stood near the workbench, her amber eyes scanning the projects they had completed. Each device represented hours of effort, collaboration, and creativity. She felt a quiet pride in what they had achieved together. Kian looked up from a new design he was drawing. "Good morning, Nara," he said. "Are you ready to continue our work today?" Nara nodded. "Yes, I feel ready for anything now," she replied. She had grown stronger, more confident, and more skilled with every passing day. Her hands moved naturally over the tools, her mind filled with ideas on how to improve their designs. The workshop had become more than just a place to work. It was a space of learning, of discovery, and of partnership. Nara had not only learned human methods, but had also introduced Kian to alien techniques that improved their inventions. Together, they had created devices that helped merchants, repaired broken machines, and brought small communities a sense of relief and convenience. That morning, a messenger arrived with a request from the city council. A group of public service centers needed compact repair devices to help maintain essential systems. Kian and Nara exchanged excited glances. This was their chance to expand their impact, to help more people, and to show that humans and aliens working together could make a real difference. Nara studied the blueprints carefully. She suggested changes to make the devices lighter and easier to transport. Kian followed her advice, impressed by her ingenuity and foresight. As they worked, they discussed ways to train others to use the devices efficiently. Nara realized that teaching humans and aliens alike could spread the benefits of their inventions further than they could alone. By midday, the first batch of devices was ready for delivery. Nara helped load them onto a small transport vehicle, her hands steady and precise. Kian drove while she checked each device, ensuring everything was secure. They arrived at the public service centers, where staff watched curiously as Nara demonstrated how the devices worked. Her calm and clear instructions impressed everyone. The staff quickly learned to operate the machines, repairing broken systems with ease. One of the supervisors, an older alien with a gentle smile, approached Nara. "Your work is remarkable," he said. "You and your human partner have made life easier for many people." "Thank you." Nara felt a warmth in her chest. She had come so far from standing on a street with a small help wanted sign, uncertain if anyone would notice her struggle. Now she was recognized, appreciated, and respected. She realized that her journey had transformed not only her life but the lives of others as well. On the way back to the workshop, Kian spoke quietly. "Nara, I think it is time for you to have your own projects. You have learned so much and your skills are exceptional. You can now create and manage your own devices independently." Nara's eyes widened. "Really? You would trust me to do that?" she asked, a mix of surprise and excitement in her voice. Kian nodded. "Absolutely. You have proven yourself. Your ideas are valuable and your abilities are remarkable. I want you to continue growing, and I will support you in any way I can." Nara felt a sense of pride and responsibility. She realized that independence was not just about creating machines. It was about making decisions, solving problems, and showing that she could contribute meaningfully to the world around her. She nodded. "I will do my best," she said. The following days were filled with creativity and experimentation. Nara designed portable repair kits, energy-efficient devices and modular tools that could be adapted for various tasks. She worked closely with Kian when necessary, but also learned to make decisions on her own. Each successful project reinforced her confidence and demonstrated her capability. Word of their work continued to spread throughout the city. Merchants, service centers, and residents began requesting demonstrations and consultations. People had started to notice that the partnership between a human and an alien was producing remarkable results. Prejudice and suspicion were slowly being replaced by curiosity, respect, and admiration. One afternoon, a group of young aliens approached Nara. They had heard about her work and wanted to learn from her. She smiled warmly and began teaching them how to assemble and operate the devices. Her patience and clarity impressed the students, and she realized that sharing knowledge was as important as creating solutions. Kian watched her from the side, quietly proud. He had always known that humans had the capacity to teach and innovate, but Nara had shown him that collaboration across species could unlock even greater potential. Together, they were building not just machines, but also a community of learners and problem solvers. In the evenings, they would return to the workshop and reflect on the day's achievements. Nara often stayed late, sketching new ideas in her notebook, imagining devices that could help even more people. Kian encouraged her creativity, offering advice when needed but letting her explore her own solutions. One night, as they finished assembling a new device, Kian spoke. "Nara, you have grown so much. You started as someone in need of help, and now you are creating, teaching, and inspiring others. You have become a part of this city in a way that no one can ignore." Nara smiled softly. "I never imagined it could be like this. I thought I would always struggle to survive. But now I feel like I have a place, a purpose." Kian nodded. "And you do. You have shown everyone that humans and aliens can work together, that cooperation brings strength and innovation. You are a living example of what can happen when people choose to help and trust one another." The city outside continued its busy rhythm, but inside the workshop, there was a sense of calm and accomplishment. Nara felt that she had found her home, not just a place to live, but a place where her skills, ideas, and efforts mattered. She realized that Kian's initial act of kindness had transformed her life completely. Weeks passed, and their devices became an essential part of many businesses and service centers. Nara's reputation as a skilled and innovative creator grew. People began to seek her advice, ask for demonstrations, and even request partnerships. She had become a trusted figure in the city, respected for her abilities and dedication. One morning, as she prepared a new batch of portable repair kits, she reflected on her journey. She remembered standing on the street with her small sign, feeling invisible and powerless. Now she had independence, recognition, and a sense of purpose. She had found friendship, mentorship, and partnership with Kian. She realized that her life had changed in ways she had never imagined. Kian entered the workshop, carrying a small package. "Nara, I think it is time to celebrate your achievements," he said. "You have worked hard, learned so much, and helped so many people. You deserve recognition." Nara smiled, touched by his words. "Thank you, Kian. I could not have done this without you." Kian shook his head. "No, you could have. But I am glad we did it together. That is what makes it special." That evening, they held a small gathering in the workshop. Friends, colleagues, and clients came to celebrate Nara's achievements and the partnership that had grown between a human and an alien. People shared stories of how the devices had helped them, and Nara felt a deep sense of fulfillment. As the celebration continued, Nara realized that she had built more than machines. She had built trust, respect, and understanding between humans and aliens. She had created a future where cooperation and kindness could overcome fear and prejudice. After the guests left, Nara and Kian sat together, looking at the city lights outside the window. "We have come a long way," Nara said softly. Kian nodded. "Yes, and this is only the beginning. There is so much more we can do, so many people we can help, and so much more we can learn from each other." Nara felt a surge of hope. She knew that the future was full of possibilities. She had found independence, a home, and a purpose. She had proven that even one act of kindness could transform a life, and that collaboration across species could achieve extraordinary results. "I am ready for the next step," she said. "I want to continue learning, creating, and helping others." Kian smiled. "Then we will do it together." Humans and aliens working side by side, making the world a better place. Nara looked out at the city, her amber eyes shining with determination. She had come from a place of uncertainty, holding a small sign for help. Now she was a creator, a teacher, and an inspiration. She knew that her journey had changed her life and the lives of many others. And as the night deepened, she felt a profound sense of belonging. She had found a home where her skills were valued, where her ideas mattered, and where humans and aliens could work together to create a brighter future. She knew that challenges would continue to come, but she was ready to face them with courage, creativity, and trust. Nara realized that the simplest acts, like a human noticing her struggle, offering help and trusting her abilities, could transform a life completely. She had begun as an alien seeking survival, and had become a symbol of hope, collaboration, and possibility. And in that moment, she understood the power of kindness, trust, and cooperation. The future was not only something to face, but something to create. And together, Nara and Kian would continue building it, one invention, one act of trust, and one partnership at a time.